just in case. He checked Felipe's papers before the mics heated up. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on a choice, but they got a mandate. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing with a friend. Jessimae Peluso back in studio. Felipe Esparza as well. Dates coming up. Funny Bone, Omaha, Nebraska. That'll be November 22nd through 23rd. Very funny live comedian Jessimae Peluso. So check that out. Funny Bone, Syracuse coming up. Kimmel's Club in Vegas coming up. Felipe's got dates all over the world. He's live and worldwide. You can go to their website as well, jessimae.com. For all the dates are up there.
Yes, sir. Thank
you. Felipe, your website, Felipe's World.
FelipesWorld.com.
As well. All right, let me ask you guys this. Do you feel there's something that bothers me? And what bothers me is a lack of people's knowledge on shit they should know about, but everyone is way too casual with stuff. Like I said, you go in and you're looking at a $75,000 car and you don't get two questions deep before the guy goes, yeah, I got to go back and check the thing. And it's like, I just asked you, it comes with a V6 or a V8, and you're like, let me check on that. Like, it's a $75,000 car. The thing that really gets me is I go, again, if you want to buy a $400 smartphone, the person will know everything about it. If you buy a $7 sub sandwich, the person will know more about it than the person who's selling you an $80,000 car. But 2 days ago, I'm going for a walk in Malibu. I'm walking up the hill, and I literally just pass a sign that says open house. And I go, all right, it's open house. I'm just going to walk in and look around. $7.6 million. And I say to the woman, the realtor, what year was it built? And she goes, you want $7.6 million and you can't commit to 1987. It's on a sheet. You could bring the sheet home. If you were waiting in any airport in America, you could memorize that sheet in 14 minutes. So I go, what year? She goes, yeah, I don't know. I have to check that sheet. I go, how many square feet is it? She goes, I have to check that sheet. I'm like, all you need to know is how many square feet. It's the number one. Why do people feel like they do not have to commit this to memory? And why is it so difficult? And by the way, I walked through the house once. The bitch told me,
oh, gosh.
I'm angry.
She's already a bitch.
She told me 3,600 square feet, and I'll remember that for the rest of my life. What is going on, people? Are we getting dumb? Are we getting lazy? What's going on? You're selling a $7.5 million house. You don't know what year it was built, and you don't know how many square feet it was. And I know people don't like numbers and stuff, but square footage is pretty much all we're talking about when it comes to real estate because it's price per square foot. That's kind of how it breaks down.
Basic knowledge. I don't mind a realtor not knowing things. What bothers me is if a doctor doesn't know something. If you're going in with a medical symptom, and you're like, well, is it a problem with my lungs? And he's got to go, let me check the sheet. That would bother me more and make me more worried if a doctor didn't know anything about the specific body he himself or she herself specializes in.
Is that happen frequently?
Well, just recently, I went to get like a checkup, and they said they were too full, and they sent a blood pressure monitor and a scale for me to do the whole thing at home.
Really?
Yeah, so it's kind of what's going on. People aren't working anymore, and we're having to do it ourselves and figure out the information.
I don't want to defend the doctors, but I think if you come in and you go, like, my back hurts or something, there's 5 things it could be, but square footage, there's not a lot of variables.
Right, there's only one square footage.
It's just go home, 1987, 3,600 square foot, $7.6 million. That's it. It's in my head. I don't need all the other information. That one.
Right.
If I ask when was the last termite inspection, you can go, oh, you know what? Let me check the sheet. That's fine. That's not the basic, is what I'm saying.
Everyone's dumb.
I had
they're lazy.
Down the street on Central, there's a clinic, and I was getting my blood drawn. and the guy that was drawing my blood, he was like a guy that probably used to gangbang back in the day. Mm-hmm. And he's an ex-gangbanger. He had a lot of tattoos on his hands. And then I started questioning him, like I was, how did he get this? Maybe he killed the guy earlier to get to me. So I'm asking him, man, how did you get this job? He goes, do you have a certificate? Did you go to school for this? He goes, nah, Holmes. Back in the day, you didn't need no certificate for this job, man. That's how I got the job. So he's drawing my blood, and now he thinks I was joking here when I asked him that question. So he starts joking too, and he starts like tapping my vein, like he starts tapping like he's gonna put heroin in it instead.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you thought, huh? But then he drew my blood, and this guy, he knew everything. He knew how to do everything without ever going to school for it. He just learned everything as it went along.
Well, that's
old school. I feel
old school,
that's
right?
old school.
But now
this is the new school. I feel
But now
like
you gotta
when
you go to do that now, you gotta go to 3 places.
right.
Yeah, look, we shouldn't have all this regulation for like hair cutting. If you're a barber, you've been doing it, you did it in the military for 14 years or whatever, you get out, you shouldn't have to have it like a state bar to fucking open a barber shop. You should just, look, here's the deal with most of this stuff. You go in, get a shitty haircut, you don't come back. You go in and get a good haircut, you do come back. You don't really care if the guy has a certificate to do it or not.
I've never looked on a wall to see if there was one.
No,
Just go to the barber who doesn't have bad breath.
everybody who builds your house, every single guy I ever worked with on a construction site, nobody read a book, nobody took a test. All they did was build houses.
Yes.
That's all they did. There was no manual. There wasn't an oral or written test. They didn't get certified. They just were journeyman carpenters only because that's all they did was build houses. All right, let's see. I got a Jessimae, you had a little thing with Stamos the other day.
A little thing.
Yeah,
I think it was
saw
a
it
big
on the
thing.
internet.
It was practically a marriage proposal.
He came in and did your podcast?
Yeah, he came into my podcast. It was very exciting. He's a gem of a human being.
He's
Just
a nice guy.
gem.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it seems to be an immaculate history for him as far as an individual in entertainment, because everyone else is crumbling to the floor around us. So it's nice
In what
that
way?
there's...
What do you mean?
Well,
like their reputation, they're getting Me Too'd and stuff like
all
that?
of that. The Cosbys of it all. You're like, well, I love the show, but that's a horrible human being.
Right.
So I was,
He puts stuff in people's drinks too?
no, Cosby did, not Stamos, to clarify.
No, Stamos doesn't.
I saw
do-
Stamos in a movie back in the day, an action film with him and Vanity starting.
Really?
What
Yes.
was? Do you remember what it was?
He was an action star. It was a badass movie, and he drove a Corvette. And there's a scene where they're trying to get away from him.
Vanity from Prince?
Yes,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Nikki Sixx Lady. He was. It was an action scene, and John Stamos and Vanity are trying to get away from these bad guys, and then they make a left and they go under a trailer and they ride the trailer under the car. There it is. I saw them with the movie.
I thought you were super high and just made this up.
Nah, man.
He
Never
talks
too
about that.
young to die.
Never too young to
Yeah.
die. Yeah.
That was great.
All right.
It was a white version of
Fast and Furious.
No, that movie. The Black Samurai. What's his name?
Oh, The Black Samurai.
I can't even think of what that is.
It was this black karate guy.
Cleopatra
Yeah,
Jones. Can I say this about Stamos? He doesn't have to drug women to have sex.
No.
There's a
No.
line forming outside of his trailer.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah. That they're bringing their own drugs.
Yeah.
part.
They roofie themselves in the back of the Uber heading over to Stamos' place.
Well, you don't want to forget that experience. It's more of like any kind of drug you want that.
It's
goes
not a
along.
roofie?
Yeah, you don't want to forget that. You're not trying to black out during Stamos.
I was just
moments.
sticking with the Cosby
But yeah,
theme.
but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So he doesn't. Who needs to roofie the least?
Stamos.
Stamos?
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe.
Denzel, even today,
Denzel.
still is a strapping gentleman. Who do you think, Felipe?
Clooney. Who needs to roofie chicks the least? I mean, you and I'd be pretty high up on the roofies.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Idris
Good.
Elba.
He just
No
shows up
roofie.
and starts
Yes.
speaking with a British accent. How you doing there?
Right. Okay. So no roofies for him.
Jason Statham. Oh, you're gonna come in.
James
my
Bond, the
bedroom.
new one.
Who is the new
Roger
James Bond?
Craig.
Oh, yeah. That's another one.
All right. So Stamos doesn't need roofies, but he did your show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Let me ask you guys this question. I find a lot of good-looking dudes in Hollywood are exceedingly nice.
Interesting.
And I think they overcompensate because we think they're going to be douchebags because of how good-looking they are, and they actually try harder. Same thing I do with black people. I'm nicer to black people than I am to white people because I'm overcompensating.
For your
Maybe because
racism.
For my racism, our past includes you as well,
Don't
Blondie.
include me into your
our
past. I don't know what you've been
This
doing.
nation's very troublesome past. I don't want them to think. No, I don't want them to know I'm racist. So
Yeah, you eat that shit on the porch.
I overcompensate.
Okay.
I'm nicer, and I think good-looking dudes
Can't read, so
we
they gotta
think
be
they're
nice.
douchebags.
Good-looking
that's
guys
another thing.
can't read. Half of them can't read well,
Mm-hmm.
so they really have to be nice.
Mm.
And there's a lot of dumb actors out there and football players that became actors who really can't read, and you have to deal with it, and you can't go around telling, man, I was reading with this guy, man, he's getting paid more than everybody, can't read for shit. He's the nicest
Wait, you think you
guy.
have to be nice 'cause
He's
if
the
you're-
nicest guy. You know what?
So if you have dyslexia, you gotta be sweet?
They gave him a bonus, and then he gave some of his pay to the cameraman because he's an idiot. He can't read. So he's the nice guy. He buys pizzas for everybody.
I think nice is a term that is tossed around that doesn't always equate a kind, good person. Like
No,
they said Ted Bundy was nice.
It's spackle. They're covering something.
Right.
But what I'm saying is
He's nice, but he didn't like spices or seasoning. He was eating those people without seasoning.
Yeah,
Bundy was?
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
imagine bland? Like if you got to season a human for sure.
I couldn't
Yeah,
eat
man.
tuna out of the can. I got to put some relish and mustard and mayonnaise
Yeah.
in there. Forget about human flesh.
We're putting some paprika on that.
Just Taylor Swift. It's funny you brought up paprika because I got that on my list.
I'm a witch.
Or you saw my list.
I didn't look.
Okay.
I'm tapped into
All
the
right,
vortex.
Taylor Swift has to be nice too because people want to hate her and think she's going to be a bitch, right? So she's got to be super saccharine sweet,
Toxic,
right?
toxic
Like super,
nice.
you got to come across as real nice.
Yeah, that's gotta be exhausting.
I believe Stamos though.
He's kind.
Right.
He came in with gifts.
Gifts.
A genuine spirit. I couldn't even ask my questions. He asked me so many things about myself. Also called me gorgeous about 4 times.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not a homewrecker. He has a beautiful wife, beautiful life. I'm just a huge fan, and he was so kind.
The gorgeous. Here's why it's difficult.
Oh, God. I feel an insult coming.
No.
Okay.
The problem with sexual harassment is if you're a fat, ugly, scary, creepy guy and you go, hey, gorgeous, you go, oh, fuck this guy, I'm reporting him. But when you're hot and you go, gorgeous, like, oh, fresh. So we don't know what to do.
That's presumptuous. So you're not a fat, ugly girl. You're not a fat, ugly person. So it's like, how do you know what that person's going to react like?
Anytime you work in an office setting, there's always one creepy guy in the office that the hot receptionist gives her the fucking shivers when he goes by. And that guy, if he makes a comment like, oh man, that's a nice skirt, the chick's totally freaked.
Yeah.
She's like, this fucking perv weirdo. The good-looking, cool guy can walk in and go, someone got banged this weekend. And you go, that's what it is. So we don't know what to do.
But
You
the
know,
fat,
it's
ugly,
not consistent.
the
Stamos
fat-
can say whatever he wants.
He can say
but the
whatever he
fat,
wants.
ugly guy always says a fat, ugly thing too, though.
Yeah.
And I remember my friend, he's ugly. We're watching a movie, and Jason is about to kill this hot ass chick, and my friend taps us on the shoulder. Hey man, how come he don't fuck her first before he kills her?
The ugly friend asked that?
Yeah, in front of everybody at the movie theater.
I see, that's
How come
deep.
you don't fuck her first?
That's dark.
You know how we do it? And I go, no, bro, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah, you got to just take this guy to the drive-in. Don't take him to the general. You know,
Yeah, he needs to stay at home.
roll the windows up. Just you and him in the Caprice Classic.
He needs to
gotta
watch that
stream.
movie by himself in the bathroom on a plane.
All right, so should we see a little Stamos? I think we got a clip. You
You
put it out
do?
on Instagram.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw it.
He gave me the doll. He gave me a doll of himself.
Oh, awesome.
Isn't that awesome? It's like
From Full House.
from the 80s.
Yeah, when he was playing with
from
the
Full
Beach
House,
Boys
though, right?
exactly.
on the episode.
Yes, from Full House.
Yes, all right.
Uncle
Yeah.
Jesse.
Not Blackie.
Look at the size of the doll.
What's my story?
Comes with an outfit and a beautiful smile and a great personality.
Tune in to the Jessimae Peluso Show.
He's the only guy I know that can play himself in the movie.
Yes.
I don't know if you know him, but he's kind of a big deal.
I made a fun of myself being a fan in this clip.
Are you big Full Houser?
Oh my gosh, I grew up on that show. Are you
I like it
kidding
as
me?
well.
It was so wholesome, and it, you know, for someone, I grew up in a home that everyone refers to as a broken home. My parents divorced. So to watch that show with 3 guys living in a house with a bunch of kids, it made me feel less weird about my situation.
Well,
you know?
this is an interesting question because I know all of us come from less than desirable backgrounds.
Speak for yourself, Adam Carolla.
You just said you
Yeah, I know,
came
I'm
from a
just kidding.
broken home. I don't. I mean, listen. I'm not going to use white trash for Felipe, but
No.
you come from a pretty broke. I know about your past.
Yeah,
right?
man, everything was broken.
All right. Everything was broken.
The beds, the TV,
Everything was broken in my
dreams.
everything.
There was no hope.
Hymens, everything. All right. So,
Cops would show up and they would take one of
getting
us
worse.
away.
so everything's broken in this Esparza back.
When we were
home.
kids, there was the cops, LAPD, shout out LAPD, Hollenbeck Division. They would go around the door like to greet everybody, and they would give away presents to the kids. And I remember we would never answer the door because we thought we were in trouble or something. But one day we answered the door, and they gave us a bunch of toys.
Free Stamos doll.
You know what? Better than that.
Better?
We
You
had
don't
to-
do better, am I right?
Better,
we
bro.
fucking Jesse
Don't do
Mason
better.
right
Better.
here.
It was
What?
John Travolta, the sweat hugs.
You got a Travolta doll?
Yeah, the Travolta
Okay, that's up there.
and Washington.
I
That's
bet
up
they
there.
just swapped the heads.
For
I
sure.
bet
I
Mattel just
bet
used
they
the
did.
same skinny body and
Same
just
body.
swapped the heads.
Yeah, same body, same teeth.
All right, so you grew up. Well, I don't know if they do the. I think that's getting pretty granular.
Just stick with me on
Okay.
this.
All right. So you grew up in a less than desirable
Yeah, I grew up in
background.
the housing projects.
All right. I grew up in a shit box with fucked up parents and divorce and welfare and food stamps. Jessimae, your
Mine
parents were
sounds
divorced.
the best. One
Is
out
it
of 3
better?
ain't bad. I mean, it was difficult, sure, but my parents were loving. My mom.
Oh, they
moved-
were loving.
My mom moved
Oh,
in
your
the
mom
neighbor's
loved.
dad.
My
so-
parents too. They stuck
Okay.
it around, and we didn't get on. We were not on welfare. We had like 7 kids. If they would have given welfare, man, we would have moved to a mansion.
Did your mom love you?
Oh yeah, they loved it, but they were working all the time, so they was like they were never around.
I think I had it. I may have had a little better financially, but my mom didn't like me, and neither did my dad. So that then we got to
That's a deficit.
That's a deficit. All right, so everything was bad. Now
worse.
here's the question.
That's worse.
Okay.
When your
Yes.
parents don't like you,
Emotionally,
it's bad.
getting murdered every day is worse.
Yeah, the cops and his parents liked him. Sounds
Yeah.
like you only.
Yeah.
All right, so now you would watch Full House because you would go, wow, this is a breath of fresh air in this very depressing environment. And this is aspirational. This is what it could be if you
Sure.
did it right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so there's kind of 2 heads on it. We're young people. You can either take this young 9-year-old who may be getting into trouble and on the wrong path, and you can take him to UCLA and show them college life and what it could be like if they studied, or you could take them to prison for scared straight and have a guy pop his glass eyeball out and throw it at him and yell at him, take off your shoes, bitch. Which one is more effective? You know what I'm saying? Because I would get depressed watching happy shows when I was a kid because I would look around at my house and my mom and my situation and I would start feeling bad. But if I watch Sanford and Son or Good Times or something where they had it worse than me, like if they just had a Ring doorbell on Felipe's house that I could see into the 7 people and with the cops banging on the door, then I would have felt better. But I guess it's about your wiring, right?
I think so. It sounds like it made you feel gratitude.
Yeah, I would watch these shows.
Well, not gratitude, but just somebody's got it worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would watch these shows as a little kid going, man, these fucking white chicks are hot. Eh?
And what would your friends say?
All my
Wanted to
shows
rape
were
them?
all white chicks, so I was in love with white women from the day one. Bionic Woman, Like there were no shows where I could look at it and go, oh, this Latina girl's hot or this black girl's hot.
That's a good point.
But it was all white chicks, man. I'm married to a white woman, and it was all at the hots for all of them.
Who's your number one white chick back
growing
then?
up, Lindsay Wagner.
Lindsay Wagner.
Yeah, the Bionic
Deep
Woman.
cut.
Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, Farrah Fawcett's
In that
classic.
poster, you could see like her beaver, her bush. Man,
Oh, wow.
A little bit. It was thick.
Really? I was looking nipple, but all right.
Fucking Catherine Bach.
Oh, Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Heather Locklear.
Yep, and that fucking poster, she's like hanging out right there with a little towel.
Yeah.
Oh man, we used to get all those posters at the carnival.
Oh, really?
That's kind of messed up. Like even your love life is whitewashed in this country.
Yeah,
That's not right.
that was our goal growing up, making
Yeah.
it getting a white chick.
You said, who was the first one you liked before?
Lindsay Wagner.
Lindsay Wagner.
I met her when I was
met
working at
Lindsay
Dodger
Wagner?
Stadium. I was working at Dodger Stadium selling hot dogs, and she was there with her knucklehead sons. They were little. They were like 12 or 13. They were wearing South Central hats and NWA hats. They
Really?
They were wiggers.
You
and, and they were straight up wiggers, bro. And she was telling him, Jason, calm down. Wow. And then
They were wiggers because Lindsay Wagner's the whitest chick on the planet.
Yeah, and
I have no idea who she is.
She's married. She's a Bionic
all right.
woman. She's married to I didn't even know she was married to a stuntman. She's married to a stuntman back then.
What's she from? What show?
All right, hold
Bionic
on.
Woman.
Bionic Woman.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a TV
it. Oh,
show
man, look
called
at
The
that, man.
Bionic
Oh,
Woman.
How
she's
can you not
gorgeous.
fall in love with that, man?
Oh, okay.
And she ended up married this guy that was in the movie Car Wash that wears pig ears. And that guy is a stunt man. And when I saw him, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, man. I had a fucking chance.
All right, so
Hopefully, he had a warmer apartment.
the Bionic Man
Lee
was
Majors.
popular. And then once that was popular for like 2 seasons, they spun it off and they made the Bionic Woman.
See how long it takes for us to get our representation?
2 whole seasons of the Bionic Man. And did
adorable.
you know what the accident was?
Oh, man. I forgot her accident, but I know that, I don't know. She was playing tennis or she
Is this a real accident or in the show?
in the show.
Well, in the show, the way you got to get bionicized is you need a horrible accident, and we have to
Oh.
replace parts.
So
with bionic parts.
Steve Austin, Lee Majors, he was an astronaut, and when he fell off on his parachute, he lost an eye, an arm,
Hold
and a leg.
on, he didn't. He did a crash landing of a Delta Wing experimental aircraft.
Same thing as a parachute fall.
No, Lindsay
I saw it
Wagner.
in black and white, so it looked like a.
No.
Exact same thing.
Lindsay Wagner parachute didn't open.
Oh,
See,
That sounds like a murder.
she did not. Okay, there's a couple things that were funny about
that's her husband right there. Yes.
In real life?
Yeah, he's a stuntman, and he's in every movie getting kicked by Steven Seagal and or Chuck Norris. Like he's in over 700 movies getting kicked by white people. But
Their baby looks like he has all the
and
secrets
that
of the
little kid is
universe.
also
Yeah.
a stunt man.
Wow.
But then later on, they got divorced, and she ended up marrying the president of Chrysler.
You
So
really
she-
kept up with her,
Oh
Felipe.
yeah, man. Let me tell you.
I know.
Felipe really kept up with her.
Well, he kept up with her, but he still doesn't know how she was bionicized. I had to
Oh,
tell
she was-
him that.
I mean, he knows every
Her
personal detail.
superpower is kind of stereotypical, like a man wrote her superpowers. So when they gave her powers, a man said, what does a woman want to do? Oh, this bitch wants to hear everything, so they give her a bionic ear.
Smart.
All right, so let me give you thoughts on
We
the
already have
Bionic
those.
Woman. The thing about the Bionic Woman, all women have a bionic sense of smell.
Sure do.
Every
Right.
single woman I've ever been with will walk into the room and want like,
Well, you know that's how we test
what's
you
going
out.
on?
Your
Yeah, I know.
pheromones.
No, they know what's going on with the nose.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they have eyes.
We
They
know when
can,
you're
like,
sick.
sniff everything out. The Bionic Woman, couple things. Her main thing was her ear. She
Yes.
could hear. She had a bionic ear. But here's the comedy about her bionic ear. Her bionic ear could hear somebody talking 4 miles away
In a helicopter.
in a helicopter in her shows. But every time in the show, she would take her hair and put it behind her ear. Like this
Sexy,
wisp of
man.
hair was going to get in the way of your bionic hearing. She'd go, hold on a second. What would her hair do?
That was telling
I'm
me hi.
Sicilian. My hair's thick, so you got to move it.
When every time she
Gotcha.
did that, she was telling me, I was watching it, eating my little bowl of cereal, Fruit Loops, and she was telling me hello. Hello, little man.
Yeah, you can find clips of her listening by moving her hair. That meant she was really hearing.
Remember the fembots?
Fembots.
Fembots.
All right. Also, we'll get into them.
They sound hot.
She later on had a bionic dog. Rex.
Gino.
Was the dog named Gino?
I think his name was Gino.
Did he not pee in the house? Because that would be great. Or not throw up at 3 a.m.?
I forgot about the bionic dog. What was his powers?
I don't know, but when I was 9 or 10, I didn't write a joke, but I was like, she is bionic because her parachute didn't open. And then she got a bionic dog, too. And I'm like, his chute didn't open as well?
That's so tragic.
I was picturing her shoving the dog out of the airplane. I don't know how the dog got bionicized.
I wonder if she could hear early when the dog in the middle of the night goes,
Furball. She, and there were fembots.
Was that like her girls?
No, she had
harem?
to do battle with fembots.
Oh, okay. They were bad
There
bitches.
was this bad guy, this old man who was like the dad from some other show. But if you listen to Stewie from the Family Guy, it's
Yeah.
the same voice.
Is it the same actor?
I don't know.
Okay. That was
The fembots were like the Stepford wives.
Yes.
But they were like the
Clones.
next evolution of the Stepford wives,
Wait,
the
so
fembots.
if this is his girl, who was your girl then? Who was your person?
Well, I was on to Lindsay Wagner before Felipe was. So
Sounds like you weren't.
He's got my girl. Sounds like I wasn't.
At
What the
all.
fuck else do I know? Who knows more about Lindsay Wagner, Bionic Woman, than me?
You need to do a biography.
This fucking Johnny Come Lately didn't even know why she was bionicized.
didn't
Oh,
care.
she got into a pickleball accident, right, Holmes?
I didn't even know how she got
You said
bionicized.
tennis.
I thought she was in a tennis accident.
What? Who gets in a
She's
tennis?
playing tennis in the beginning of the show.
You got to replace your arm and 2 legs because you got into a tennis accident?
Are we going to brush over your Felipe Esparza impersonation?
How about your pronunciation? Forget about my impersonation. Let's do pronunciation, bro. Let's find a mirror, baby.
Fair.
Conjunction.
What's your
Esparza.
function? All right, so Lindsay Wagner, number 1.
Yes, man.
All right, then we move on to Charlie's Angels, but here's where we part ways. Cheryl Ladd.
Cheryl Ladd, yes,
That's
man.
who I like.
Cheryl Ladd, hell yeah, man. In the beginning of the show, when they show like half her top and she goes like this with shampoo.
Oh, the beginning. Oh, the best best 4 words you could hear, like when we were young, is at the very top of an episode of Charlie's Angels. The guy'd come in through the speaker, Charlie, and go, "Angels, pack your bags. We're going to Hawaii." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. We're going to Hawaii. Oh, it's going to be the greatest episode." Bikini on the deck of a yacht.
I used to love that show, man. Everything was set up perfect for those ladies. Like, they're chasing a guy. He jumps on a bicycle and takes off. They're chasing them. There's 3 bikes ready for them.
Yeah.
All
I
different
like that
colors
too.
to
Yeah.
match their personalities.
That's right. We have a clip of the Bionic Woman moving her
Cheryl
hair.
Ladd.
She's listening.
Wait a minute. It's better if we make it look like an accident.
This is good TV.
Look at that guy's hair.
Oh, this is backward.
Oh, wow.
Move her wisp of hair. Now she can hear.
Saving him.
A lot of rock slides back in the
Cheryl
day.
Bionic arms just
Tons
breaking
of
the
rock
rocks.
slides.
Yeah, a lot of rock slides.
It's so weird that we brought up
Stamos got us here.
Stamos, but you brought up paprika.
Oh, right.
Right, which would my grandfather called paprika. You know, so he's Hungarian, so he gets to pronounce it how he wants because that's where it's from. But we brought up paprika, and we also brought up the $6 Million Man, and then into the Bionic
Can I
Woman.
mention my other chick, too, from growing up?
Please.
It was Shazam and Captain Marvel. They had a side cartoon, a sideshow called Mighty Isis. And
Oh,
she
Isis was hot.
bro.
Up there with Shira, Lord of the Jungle. All right, this is Saturday morning.
Saturday morning,
Perfect.
bro.
I got a Saturday morning trailer to play for you that somebody brought to my attention the other day. Now, the reason I'm tying this in is the $6 Million Man fought Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
And it made a big deal, made a big splash. It
I'm the
captured-
giant in the costume.
It was, yeah. It captured America's heart. $6 Million Man. So a year later, they came out with Bigfoot and Wild Boar.
Yes!
Which a daytime Saturday morning TV. Look at this trailer. And Jessimae, this is what we had to watch for entertainment.
I miss all of
when we were
that.
young.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Out of the great Northwest comes the legendary Bigfoot, who 8 years ago saved
You're left
the young
alone in a
child
living
from
room
the
with a bowl of
wilderness
cereal. That's it.
And raised that child until he grew up to be
Wild
Wild
Boy.
Boy.
Oh, God, he's teeny shorts. Wow.
He's going 60 miles an hour.
The graphics are legit.
Ray Young is Bigfoot. Joseph Butcher.
Was he journaling? Was
And
Joseph
Yvonne
just journaling?
Regalado.
That's
A lot of boulders.
Lot of boulders.
70s were all about the boulders. And jumping in slow motion.
Bigfoot has a blowout.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're friends.
Sid and Marty Krofft.
Bigfoot is only marginally bigger than Wild Boy, which is kind of weird. Like, Bigfoot would be a tight end and Wild Boy would be a wide receiver. Like, he's a little taller and like a little heavier, but not much. Like, shouldn't Bigfoot be a lot bigger than Wild Boy?
My perception is Wild Boy was big
There was
because he was wild.
Sid
guess,
and Marty
yeah.
Krofft. They had all the sexy shows like Electric Woman and Dinah Girl.
Oh, that
I
was
kind of
hot.
remember
That was
those
hot,
names.
By the way, the Bionic Woman's dog was named Max.
Max, not Gino.
It was a Bionic German Shepherd.
Why did he become bionicized, as you say, which I'm questioning it being
like
a
I
word.
said, the chute didn't open and he landed on a tennis court.
And he was beat up by rackets.
He was donated to a laboratory to use at 4 months because he was critically injured in a chemical lab fire, which is weird because his fur was perfect. At a time when Dr. Rudy Wells, that's the doctor that put the whole thing together, needed to test his bionic prototype. The bionic implantation procedure cost $1 million. Max had a bionic leg and a bionic jaw.
Uh-oh.
Not what you want in a dog if you're hopping into the yard. But yeah, there was a bionic dog. There was a bionic man. There was a bionic woman. And then there were fembots. But I can't even remember what the hell the fembots were doing.
Some treachery.
I think they're up to treachery. I think the problem was there was a lot of coke going around back then, and I think people get really fucking coked up and then come up with really shitty ideas, and whoever is sitting next to them coked up went, yeah, fembot. No, that's good. Now write that down on the cocktail napkin. We'll go into production on Monday. Everyone did coke. Everyone had
There it
horrible
is.
ideas. And the fembot's face would fall off, and
Ew.
yeah, it was a fembot.
Oh,
Then
wow.
Austin Powers took the idea for one of his
Yes.
sketches.
That's where I remember fembots from, because this were repeats by the time I had watched it.
They did battle with the Bionic Woman.
Yeah, there was this evil doctor, and that doctor, he calls him up and goes, "Look out the window. I have taken over the weather machine." And it was really sunny when they looked out the window. And then, now look out the window. And then it was like thunder, man, like tornadoes.
Yeah.
And they had to go to this island to beat everybody up.
Yeah. It was appointment
It was a
viewing back in the
three-parter.
day.
It was a three-parter.
Love Boat, Charlie's
Boat.
Angels, Fantasy Island,
You had to wait for it.
$6 million Man. Oh, man. It was all about delayed gratification.
Yes, anticipation. I miss anticipation.
It is a problem, I think, that is more important than we think it is, and from a societal standpoint.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah,
Yes.
so delayed gratification is sort of everything you need to be successful. Like anybody who was successful showed up, you guys showed up and did open mics for free for a long period of time and delayed. There was no Tonight Show. There was no paycheck. There was no hobnobbing with Lindsay Wagner. It was all work for free, wait in line. Some nights you didn't get on, pay your dues, delayed gratification. If you ordered something online, well, not online, if you just ordered something like through the mail, when I was a kid to be shipped to your house, nothing was ever shipped to my house because we were poor. But if you did, it's like allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
That's right.
Could you imagine?
No.
Oh, man.
I
6
need
to 8
everything now.
I was watching this show called The Hatfields and McCoys.
Yeah.
And it was these two rednecks going at each other. And one of the Hatfields, he ordered a fucking scope for his rifle. He goes, only took 6 months.
Yeah. It was like 4 to 6 weeks for delivery of stuff.
Yeah, I would say that.
6 months.
You had to wait. Everything was pay your dues and wait and wait. Delayed gratification. That's all. That's all it was. There was no Grubhub, Chipotle showing up on your doorstep 45 minutes later. It depresses people. It is the foreplay of life, which is nobody wants to do foreplay, but it makes the climax much better, even though we all want to skip right to the climax and we all want everything right now. But I am telling you, when I was a kid, and it was around this time of year, they would start running The Grinch That Stole Christmas and Frosty the Snowman and all the Christmas shit. It was appointment viewing. It was, Sunday night. They're doing The Grinch. They're doing The Grinch. On Sunday night, I'd be in the kitchen. You'd hear the thing come on. You'd go running and slide in your little socks. And it was so much better. My kids don't give a fuck about The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. They never did because they can get it on their phone in July. It's gone.
Don't you think that has something to do, or at least some connection to how you opened today, talking about your realtor, that realtor, not having all the information? I think
I'll
somewhere
say
there's
any
a
of the
connection.
information, but yes.
Any of the information.
Yes.
Somewhere along the lines, having a lack of delayed gratification creates a lack of desire of gaining new knowledge, because you've lost that sort of transactional relationship. You've lost the ability to feel how good it feels to wait for something and earn it.
Homework is delayed gratification, because homework is like, go home, don't go out, study this material, and you're not having a good time on a Saturday night because you're home studying this textbook. But come Monday, when you do the test, you'll be glad you did. So all the guys I grew up with, and the number one thing that separates the losers from the winners is every guy I knew was like, fuck this, we're going out. And then you'd go, you got a test Saturday, and you're getting a D- in biology, and they'd go, fuck that. And they would just leave, and then they would fail the class. So the difference between the winners and the losers is delayed gratification.
It is.
And when you say, there's a simple test. Like, I'm not making any of this shit up. You can tell who the future winners are going to be because you do like an M&M test. And you say to a person or say to a kid, you can have, 5 M&Ms right now and eat them, or I'll give you 20 tomorrow. Every guy I went to high school with would have gone, give me that fucking M&Ms like now. They wouldn't have even heard the second part of the question. They would have been grabbing the M&Ms from the guy. The delayed gratification people end up being the successful people because that's what it takes. And we don't have that anymore. That's why everyone is fat.
And miserable.
Yeah, man, I remember.
And miserable, but fat. Because delayed gratification is, look, you don't get to eat all you want to eat all the time right now.
No.
Right. You got to wait till Saturday night when you go out somewhere nice.
My mom would tell me to wait. My mom would tell me to wait till the movie to start to eat the popcorn. And I said, fuck daddy. I started eating that shit every time she turned her back.
Wait, at the theater?
At the movie theater.
With your friend who wanted to fuck that chick before she was killed?
Yeah, the necrophilia friend.
Yeah, man. Don't eat your popcorn till the movie starts. I'm going to eat my popcorn right now, goddammit.
Going to the movies feels like a pretty traumatic experience for you as a young person. You got the one rapist to your right. You got your mom barking out orders to your left.
Starving you.
Rats going to the bottom.
Yeah. So, delayed gratification.
Charlie Brown Christmas is the only thing that will never repeat itself. It would just come out at 8 o'clock on CBS on Tuesday right before Christmas.
Yes.
And if you missed it, you missed it.
That's the whole point.
That's the only time. There was no T-Mobile, whatever the thing was called, to rewind.
Nothing repeated itself. There was the Grinch, there was Charlie Brown.
In the living room had to shut the fuck up.
That's right.
We can't miss anything.
That's right. And there would be no such thing as getting up and leaving in the middle of anything. It was just there, fixated, not going anywhere. And so the delayed So we're living in a time where everything is like next day delivery, priority delivery,
Tonight.
ordering food, showing up to the house, fast food to the house. Everyone needs everything now. We need
Quicker.
now. And we're now at the point where it's like, I'll find myself sitting in front of the TV and like looking at my phone and watching TV. I see people watching movies and looking at their phone while they're watching the movie. It's not good. You're going to have to impose this on yourself, people.
It takes discipline.
We're
Yes.
living in a world where people are sitting down. Everybody's sitting down in the penny slots at the casino,
Right.
and they're out of money, and they're still playing, and they're getting a little gratification every time the thing goes bing, bing. So every time you look at your phone, you're like, oh, I got a like. Yeah, that's cool. But everybody just sitting down in the penny slots.
It's that, and it's even worse because I know for myself sometimes I think about when's the last time I did one thing, not one thing and look at my phone, not one thing while doing 4 other things. That's another part of it, is that we are no longer singularly tasking. We're all multitasking all the time.
Agreed. And all the stuff. See, the plan was back in the day when they started introducing things like a washing machine versus, going down to the river or just a scrub board or
or
whatever.
your wife doing it.
Yeah, though the commercials, when you look at the ads, the early ads for like a washing machine.
She never talks back.
That's right. And a dryer.
Just Felipe, your wife doing it.
Wait, do your impersonation, Flip. All right. You know what
Do it. Sounds good.
I'm Felipe Esparza.
Bro.
Okay. So, all right. You know what the commercials were? The commercials were the washing machine is over there and it's washing the clothes. And the housewife is sitting on the sofa reading a magazine and relaxing because someone else is doing the washing. But that's not what happened. What happened is now we got a washing machine, so the housewife is freed up to do another task,
Yes.
not sit around and read a magazine. And that's what's happened to all of us. We thought the technology was going to free us up for leisure. It just freed us up to do another job at the same time.
Yeah,
That's what we're experiencing.
It's tapped into the worst part of our human nature.
Well, I don't know if it's the worst because it's really just you want to get stuff done, but at a certain point, you just keep adding stuff on. But it's not a bad part. It's just a part that could lead to trouble and divorce.
I can turn my washing machine on for my phone now.
Oh, you can?
That's insane.
Yeah. I just realized that today.
I don't know.
That's just crazy.
I didn't even know. I didn't
Do
even
we
know.
need that? Do we need like a smart
And my husband,
refrigerator?
too. They're connected. Like if I leave my clothes on in the soap and leave, and I go, boop, boop, boop. Just need somebody to take it out and put it in and fold it.
Let your wife do that.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Come on, eh?
Hey. Come on, fool. Wait, is it fool?
Fool.
Fool. Wait, do we do the L?
No, we don't. We don't because stupid Instagram won't let me put the L anymore.
They won't let you do the.
I can't write fool, and I can't even write. I was trying to. My friend, I was doing this. He made this stupid comment somewhere, and I went over there. I was gonna write. This is the maricon button over here, which is the but I guess this, Instagram knows what you're trying to say now. Because I used to be, this is the gay button right here, right? But I said it in Spanish. So I had to write the name down as a Jewish name to get away with it. I said, this is the Marty Cohen button over here.
I know, Marty Cohen's my lawyer.
Because I can't write Marty Cohen. I got to say Marty Cohen.
Oh, good. Did Fool take over for Holmes?
I think, yes, it did in 1989.
So, like, do old school Holmes, and then, new school Fool.
1983. What's up, Holmes?
Okay, good.
But now it's, what's up, Fool? And then
Right.
it's just universal now with all South
Holmes
Central.
got knocked out by Fool.
I think Holmes knocked over Essay, too.
Oh, hey, Essay.
It was what's up, Essay?
This
But
is
then it
great.
was, what's up, Holmes?
This is like
But now it's, what's up, Fool?
All right, let's see if we can get this trifecta put together.
Yes.
1970 Essay, 1980 Holmes, 1990 fool. Just put them all
What's
together.
up, essay was the we'll say late 70s, early 80s, and then What's Up Holmes, and then when a lot of immigrants from Central America started coming in, we started cutting old food. What's up, puto?
Puto!
Oh, you forgot that. You forgot that.
All right, let's do all four. Let's string them
one
together.
sentence.
All right.
Yeah, just what's up, essay?
What's up, essay?
Well, hold on. I don't want to talk over you. Let's get it clean.
I said like a black guy. A black guy was mad. What's up, essay?
Yeah. Do it in your Chicano.
What's up, essay? Yeah.
No, we're stringing them together.
Which one?
We're putting them all together.
Oh, what's up, Holmes?
Well, start at the
What's
beginning.
up, boo?
Okay, start at the
What's up, puto?
No, and I think you got puto and you got puto
like
and fool flip flop.
This is like a course for reverse gentrification.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Let's put them together. Let's start with the S. No, wait. We start with Holmes.
Essay.
Oh, essay, Holmes, fool. No.
Puto.
No. Essay, Holmes, puto, fool. We're fool now.
Yeah. We're at fool now.
All right.
This is the fool generation.
Let's put four of
Fool's
them all
gone wild.
together. Let's get it clean. Here we go.
Yeah. What's up, essay? What's up, Holmes? What's up, fool? Yeah, that's it.
Well, no, you left out puto.
No, that's like extra. That's like
It's not here. It is
derogatory. If you don't like the guy.
All right.
It should
What's
be
up,
a course.
puto?
All right. Well, let's get a clean puto that I can edit in later.
All right. What's up, puto?
Is that
You know what's funny, man?
Is that what Stamos sounded like?
Nothing. This
Oh,
feels
didn't
like a
sound like
course
that?
for
I have a
white
picture
guys.
of Stamos and what's his name from Funny Home Videos.
Bob Saget?
Bob Saget.
Yeah, they were best
We
friends.
did a show at the I think you were there too.
Yeah.
It was the K-Rock one. The one that for
Acoustic
Kevin Ben Dean.
Oh, yeah.
How long ago?
Oh, a long time ago.
I was like 7
Yeah.
years backstage.
Yeah.
At
the
the
Universal Amphitheater.
was it the amphitheater?
Yeah.
Did you guys-
There it is right there.
There it is.
We're going to
Did
do
you
our own
guys-
show.
Yeah.
It's going to be called Fool's House.
What was Saget like? Did you
They
work
were
with him a lot?
good, man. Their room smelled like a lot like weed, man.
That's fair.
Was
We're
that-
both
wait a minute.
competing.
Is that because you were in it?
Yeah, man.
It was pluming from your hair.
All right, let's take a
Man,
quick
they're
break.
tall, right? They're both 6'2", 6'1".
Yeah, they're tall fellas.
We'll take a quick break.
R.I.P.
Come back with more hot puto talk.
What's up,
Right after-
Putin?
right after this.
Hey, I'm Adam Carolla. That's Brad Williams and Jay Leno. Hey, buddy. Over there, we're doing our third annual comedy fantasy camp. That's going to be January 23rd through the 26th, right in Hollywood, California. Where else would it be? These guys are going to be there.
So remember, 2 out of every 3 comics make it big.
Well, 1.5.
Do I get paid for this? Please tell me I get paid for this.
Go to comedyfantasycamp.com and get in on the fun.
BetterHelp. November is all about gratitude. Let's see. Who am I grateful for? Mr. Backus, my 6th grade teacher. He was the only one who was nice to me. Didn't really work, but I love Mr. Backus. So have a little gratitude and be grateful. But, we don't thank people enough. Maybe we don't thank ourselves enough. Thank yourself. Be your best self this year. How about that? Get a little therapy. Nothing wrong with that. It's good. You get your head right. The rest will follow. Always been a big fan of therapy. And BetterHelp, well, it's entirely online. It's convenient and it's flexible. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist. And by the way, you can switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. So get the head right this year with BetterHelp, right, Dawson?
Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Carolla today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Carolla.
Hey, Mondo! Well, it's football season. I love it when the weather gets cool and it turns to fall and I watch the games with the guys and eat the wings and drink the beers. Well, Mondo's the MVP. Clinically proven 72-hour odor control. Perfect for long days at the game or at the bar. I'm wearing mine right now. I did it this morning. Safe for the whole body. Pits, package, feet, everywhere. Totally safe. Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. So you use the soap, you do the shower, but you got to control the funk. When you're out and about, available 3 ways: invisible spray, solid stick, that's what I used this morning, and invisible cream, and 4 cologne quality scents: Bourbon Leather, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, Clover Woods. Oh yeah, I used the Bourbon Leather this morning. Special offer: new customers get $5 off a starter pack. That's what I opened this morning. With my exclusive code link, use Adam at shopmando.com. That is shopmando.com. And stop the funk. Right, Dawson?
Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers or as last-minute stocking stuffers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That's over 40% off your starter pack. Use code ADAM at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Don't let BO keep you on the bench. Smell better naked with Mando. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam, this is Chris in Tennessee. I just wanted to run this by you. I don't like any rock and roll song that has rock and roll in the lyrics. Just throwing it out there. Tell me I'm wrong. Mahalo.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Oh, wait, hold on. Felipe Esparza is here. Ralph Barbosa?
Yeah, he started car racing now.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did well on his tour, and I think he bought his grandmother's Toyota, and then he remodeled it and fixed it up. So he's already fixed up like 5 cars.
Hold on. When I hear someone remodel the car, it makes me think they may not be a car expert. Because you might modify the car.
I'm not a car expert.
He added a kitchen sink, a nice backsplash.
I'm not a car expert at all.
So he remodeled his grandma's Toyota.
Like a Supra or something. And then she made it look,
but he's not racing that car.
No, he raced last week, actually. He raced in his Camaro.
Like drag race?
Against a truck, yes.
But he's just doing bracket racing.
I think it was at a racetrack. And
but it's a quarter mile.
Yeah, quarter mile.
It's not like a road course.
No, not like you.
No, all right. But he's doing that kind of racing.
Yeah, that kind of racing.
Okay.
It's nice to know some things like that haven't changed.
No.
That sort of racing feels like something that's like from the past.
Oh, the drag racing?
Yeah.
No, still going.
That's legal, right? But there's also illegal, right? You ever been into illegal ones?
Like Fast and Furious.
Yeah, you ever done those when you were a kid?
Like street stuff?
And Ventura Boulevard? Come on.
No, it's Van Nuys.
Van Nuys! That was a movie.
Man. Yes. And it was also Mulholland.
Mulholland.
That seems dangerous.
Mulholland was dangerous.
Yes.
People go off the cliff.
Yeah, I feel like the cliff's probably
They made a movie about Mulholland racing, and they made one about Van Nuys. They used to just make a movie about anything. Like, if this was the 70s, there would be a movie coming out in 4 months called The Trump Dance. And you'd go, what the fuck is that? I don't know, but everyone's talking about it. And you'd go, well, why is that a movie? And they go, I don't know. It's just everyone knows what it is. So we're doing The Trump Dance. That's it. That's what it is. The movie. If something got hot, they just made a movie about it, but it was never enough. You know what it was like?
Where's the Beef became a movie.
Yeah. It was like, it was like Night at the Roxbury. You have a 3-minute SNL sketch that people think is kind of funny for 3 minutes, and someone goes, what if we make a 2-hour version of it? It's like, you don't have enough idea for 2 hours.
That was a lot of fun.
Right. So all these little SNL sketches would go, we're making a movie. And it's like, there's not enough here to make that movie. But that's what we did. If something got hot for 10 seconds, boom, movie. That's how it worked.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right.
White Shadow, the movie. Nobody.
Yeah. You like White Shadow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You like all the whiteys, don't you?
Hell yeah, man.
He loved him. Yeah. That's what he was exposed
it's aspirational.
Well, White Shadow was a movie about a basketball team in South Central.
Well, there's White Shadow, the
Coach
TV
Reeves.
series.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Yeah.
Coach Reeves.
All right. So, paprika.
Paprika.
Or paprika.
Your Hungarian granddad.
Yes. Now, paprika is the American version and paprika is the Hungarian version. But I think it's pretty much in Hungary they put paprika on everything. And it's good because it's not that spicy, but it gives it a little extra flavor. And the story, and the reason I wrote that down is because I got into a philosophical argument with everyone online about me and my taste in things. You know what I'm saying? And what people do is they go, look, it's subjective. I may like this and you may like that, but it doesn't mean this isn't better than that. It's a personal taste thing. And then I always argue with people because I go, I like cars and you may like, a 1980s K car, but it's a piece of shit. And a Ferrari is nicer looking. And it's not just because I say it is, it's because it is. Like we know comedians that aren't that funny. We know comedians that are funny. And it's not just your opinion. We have to have some rules here. There's some people that are funnier than others. Architecture. Shitty 60s Valley architecture with a flat roof and aluminum windows, strip mall shit is ugly. Then there's stuff from the 20s and stuff, craftsman houses from the teens in Pasadena. It's not just my opinion. It's better, is what I'm saying.
The new Astro Burger design.
And the new Astro Burger?
The Astro Burger design has an architecture, too. He like a renowned architecture for Los Angeles. He designed the LAX and the Astro Burger restaurant. They're very spacey, like.
Mm-hmm. Did not know that. Yeah, I think
it's like a standard. Guy. You're speaking about a standard. There's a general standard.
I'm saying we can agree that certain eras were better for architecture, whereas the 70s and the 80s were a bad era for architecture. And if you like some bad 70s architecture, that's on you. It's still better to have the stuff from the 20s and the 30s. That's all I'm saying. I feel like music is that way. I feel like comedy is that way. All art is that way. But people want to go, it's in the eye of the beholder. And all I'm saying is I'm right. And the reason I'm getting back to paprikash here, I grew up with a Hungarian grandfather named Laszlo Gorak.
Laszlo, what's up?
It sounds like a Disney
villain.
Wait,
call him fool.
Laszlo, what's up, fool? From Hungary.
He made chicken paprikash. And he made chicken paprikash with these greatest thing in the world called no-kettle, which are these sort of dumpling noodle things that we'd make fresh. And then you take the sauce, you take a big plate of these noodle dumplings. They're dumplings. And you ladle the sauce and the chicken over top. And it was fucking awesome. Awesome. But now I grew up with it, but I was like, this is awesome. And then every human being I met after that, nobody had ever tried chicken paprikash because they didn't serve it in any restaurants. There's no Hungarian restaurants, and no one had ever heard of it. Have you guys had chicken paprikash?
Never heard of it.
Right. Never heard of it. Never whatever. So I would then say to everybody, oh, man, you got to try this. We're going to make this, And I had my nanny, who's from Guatemala. I would say to her, look, I got the recipe for chicken paprikash. She could cook, but she never cooked chicken paprikash. And she made chicken paprikash. And my kids, who I wouldn't call them finicky, but if they don't like something, they'll tell you. They're not going along for the ride just to make daddy happy. And same with Olga, the nanny. Same with everyone in my family. And I made the chicken paprikash, and they all went, oh, this is fucking awesome. And they want more of it, and they ask her to make it. And every time I come across in a Hungarian restaurant, which is only when you travel. You got to go to like Cleveland or something. Yeah, you got to go to Hungary to find a Hungarian. Then I eat at a Carl's Jr. when I go to Budapest. You have to go, I don't know, you have to go to like Cincinnati or something. Los Angeles is nothing but sushi and bizarrely Indian food, which is weird. With tons of Indian food and tons of sushi, but there's no German food and there's no Hungarian food. There's none of that kind of European fare. But every time we go, I force everyone to order the chicken paprikash, and they love it. So here's my point.
Sound like chicken dumplings.
Yeah, they do sound like dumplings.
We'll show. There's a picture probably of chicken paprikash over no kettle, and you guys see you make the dumplings, but you don't form them by hand. You grate them over a pot of boiling water, and they come out. I can't explain it. It is amazing, but the point is this. Yes, I think it tastes good, but also it does taste good because it's exotic and weird, and no one else has tried it. And every time I tell someone to try it, they fucking love it. So there is such a thing as having taste.
Oh my God.
Right, that was good.
That is exact.
Really good.
Now we need the no kettle which they call, although my grandfather would call it no kettle. And you ladle that stuff over the, I don't know, no kettle dumplings, I guess you would put in there.
That was good.
You make, I wish I could. My mouth is watering.
Mine is too.
And I just had a little pre-cum in my underpants.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Is that part of the recipe? Yikes.
You know what?
I'm backing out.
Some people use sour cream. Laszlo Gorok.
That's funny you say that pre-cum. When I was in rehab,
Not this drawing up a memory.
I was in rehab, man, forever. And I was Bible, and I couldn't masturbate. And then we saw this movie called Ferngully.
Oh, I love Ferngully.
Wait, you couldn't? Hold on, you couldn't
I had
masturbate?
a wet dream about that girl in Ferngully.
The fairy?
You couldn't masturbate? Where is this picture
so much happening
that we're asking for?
Pre-cum really took us for a turn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
dude.
that looks so good.
And the pasta at the bottom?
It's not pasta. It's like dumplings. You can find one without sauce maybe or something like that. But it's so goddamn good. But here's my point.
Okay, get to your point.
The point is you can have taste, you can have good taste, and you can have taste where people... I like the Jayhawks as a band. Nobody knows who they are. And I like chicken paprikash. Nobody's heard of chicken paprikash. But when I tell you the Jayhawks are good and I tell you chicken paprikash is good, well, then it's good. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying it's not all subjective. Mm-hmm. You happen to like fucking Man-Eater by Hall & Oates. It's a shit song, and that's because you're dumb. That's what I'm saying.
But every person says this about what they like.
That's
true. If other people don't like it.
Yes, they do.
In that world, in your world, and I mean, it looks delicious. You're right.
Yeah, everyone likes what they like. Some people like American cheese more than cheddar cheese. They just like it better, but it makes them dumb or makes them incorrect.
I do like that argument because it makes it fun and it makes you be so dedicated to your liking of something.
Well, and also otherwise, if you go and look. I mean, I don't want to throw people under the bus, but, you go, Bill Burr's a real funny stand-up.
Is he? I'm kidding.
Maybe one of the guys from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour isn't as funny as Bill Burr, and then you have somebody in the room, and they just cancel out your vote by going, I like the Get Her Done guy. Now you're canceled out. I'm saying we have to have standards. We have to understand. Otherwise, it's helter-skelter.
Here's your sign.
It's hard to have standards.
That's right. All right. Let me give some plugs out. I'm going to be in Houston at the Arena Theater doing stand-up with Craig Shoemaker and Kayvon. That'll be December 6th. And then Phoenix, Arizona, Hilton, Phoenix, Tapatio. Oh, you love that Tapatio, don't you?
Oh, yes.
That'll be Tapatio Cliffs. I'll be doing stand-up there with Shoemaker on the December 7th as well. I hear it's a really cool resort. Felipe is going to be traveling. He's going to be in...
using a passport.
Yeah, using a passport.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, and going to...
London?
Dublin, England, and Amsterdam.
And you can go to Felipe'sWorld.com. And let's
Is that
see.
Kayvon, the homie, blonde guy?
That's Kayvon.
Yeah, what's up, Kayvon?
We'll call him Fool.
What's up, fool? I told him, bro, that my Mexican friends call me cabron.
Jessimae Peluso's got dates. Most importantly, Funny Bone, Omaha, Nebraska, coming up November 22nd and 23rd. Yes. And we'll do that. Let's see. I'm looking for a resume here. Who's coming up? Justine Bateman is coming in here, and I'll talk to her one-on-one right after this. Well, it's that time of year again. You're thinking about those holiday meals. It's upon us, and I have the perfect hack to make them delicious and stress-free. It's Meter, smart wireless meat thermometer. You leave it in the meat while it's cooking. Then you'll get notifications on your phone when it's ready. Skip all the guesswork. I use it all the time. We've all been there, checking the turkey a million times, get black lung from opening the oven a million times, wasting tons of time, overcooked prime rib. No, it's a guessing game, and Meter's taking the guesswork out of it. With cloud service, you can have limitless range, so you can cook, put the meat in, go on a beer run, go in and watch the game, make a pie. It's easy. Mash up some potatoes, grab a cocktail, enjoy yourself. Don't just hover over the oven, over the barbecue. And it works on all different cooking forms and all different proteins. Get them the gift they'll actually use this year. A stress-free life for the cook at home. It's Meter, right, Dawson?
Shop Meter's holiday sales to get an unbeatable deal. Go to meater.com and save big on the best meat thermometer out there. Get your holiday shopping in and get one for you and one for the chef in your life. Meater.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. They offer friendly, helpful service and parts and knowledge that you need to maintain all the repairs and keep your car running smoothly. I've always been a fan of O'Reilly. I remember when I lived up in La Crescenta in my rented house with all my roommates, and I'd work on my Isuzu Trooper, and then later on my Toyota Supra. And I would go up to the O'Reilly up on Foothill. And that's where I got all my know-how and I got all my parts. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in the store or online, so you're never in a jam. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free, and they'll do it in or out of your car, so you can bring it in, or you don't have to pull it out of your car. They'll come out and do it in the parking lot. Need your windshield wipers replaced, brake light fix, quick service? They'll help you find the right part, or they'll point you to the nearest local repair shop for help. So whether you're a car aficionado or you're a novice, you get with O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're knowledgeable, they're helpful, and best of all, they are friendly, and you can do it online or you can go in. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit them at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
The Adam Carolla Show presents Justine Bateman's birthday cocktail party for February 19th. Let's find out who's here. Here's the mathematician and astronomer who theorized that planets revolve around the sun, Nicholas Copernicus. Let's welcome American actor Lee Marvin. The founder of Swatch, Nicholas Hayek, is here. Smokey Robinson joined the party. The guy who sang Lightning Strikes, Lou Christie, is here. Please welcome Russian composer Alexander Tchaikovsky. Here's one of the kings of heavy metal, Black Sabbath guitarist Tony Iommi. Actor Jeff Daniels is here. Here's NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Singer Seal is here. Benicio del Toro joined the party. And the weird chick from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown. Justine Bateman is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Justine Bateman in the studio. Good to see you.
Hey, I did not know about Tchaikovsky sharing my birthday. That is, I am enriched now.
You have an eclectic, what you want is a well-rounded party. You don't want to all be from the world of sports or acting or philosophy or something. You want a broad range, and you want some names. And yours is up there.
How is yours? Is yours in good shape?
The best I can tell, the most famous person on my list is Todd Bridges from Facts of Life. So mine could leave something to be desired. I will say this: when you're the most famous person on your list, that's not a good list.
Gotcha.
I I don't know what my list is. I seem to. It's not strong. If I'm the most famous person on my list, then I shouldn't have a list. That's the way I would look at it.
You gotta adopt some other birthday.
So it's good to see you. It's great. I like you out there speaking your mind and sharing your world and your truth with everybody. And it's a kind of a weird renaissance, I guess. I don't know what you could call this period in our history.
Well, to me, it is like something has, and it's broader than just Trump winning the election. That's a component of it, but it's a wider spiritual shift that has sort of been delayed for many, many years for various reasons. So we're going to see changes. I mean, obviously, you see the team that Trump is putting together. There's going to be big changes, structural changes in the government, dissolving departments and things like that. But then we're going to see changes that are as fundamental in the arts and medicine and philosophy and all of that, too.
You'd think it will trickle down, for lack of a better term, to affect, because I think the average person would say, well, look, it's going to affect corporate taxes and it's going to affect some transportation, some like nut and bolt stuff. Maybe we'll get some automation at the harbor or something like that. But arts, they don't really talk about.
Yeah, I'm not talking. It's not a trickle down thing. Imagine something much larger, something that God's doing. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Trump won and is shifting things, that's one component of this bigger event. Mm-hmm. So it's not that things will trickle down from that election. That election was a demonstration of the scales tipping to releasing this larger change in the world.
I'm generally positive about it. Now, I live in Hollywood, and I know a lot of people that are devastated by it. You may have. Well, look, your brother's pretty progressive. I was just at Jimmy Kimmel's house 3 days ago for his birthday, And I think people have this thing, and I don't know exactly how you do it, but people say, oh, how can you talk to that guy anymore? Or how can he talk to you? And I go, well, Jimmy's my friend. And he's a good person, and he's a decent person. I see how he conducts his life. And so when his birthday happens, I get invited, and then I go to his house, and I hang around with his mom, Joan, and his dad, Jim, and his brother, John, and his sister, Jill, all with the J's. Wait a minute. Huh. Do you have that?
I have that with one sibling, yeah.
Oh, but you didn't pick a theme.
No, I have, there are other letters in the family, not just the J.
Because you could have been one of those Jimmy J families.
It's true. But I feel the same way about, my friends who, the way my friends voted is of no significance to me whatsoever. It's not even on the list of reasons I would or would not be friends with somebody.
No, I agree. I think May 27th, by the way, Louis Gossett Jr., that's my birthday, Andre 3000, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, or Lopez. Is it Lopez? Yeah. Okay. Henry Kissinger, there you go. Jamie Oliver, the Naked Chef. It's not your list. You have a much more desirable list.
Do you have anyone from classical music in there like I do?
Alas, no. Not that I'm aware of. No, unless Henry Kissinger played some Mozart. I don't know. But look, yes, you don't care, and I don't care. But they oftentimes, and historically in the past, have cared. And that's been an issue. It'd be nice if they didn't care and you didn't care, and then you would just get on with your life. But in the past, lots of people, especially in Hollywood, cared. A lot.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just, you'd have to ask them, but maybe they care because the idea of that balance being threatened, of the collection of people that think one way or the other, threatens their own identity or sense of self that they've attached to aligning themselves to this list of kind of woke themes or beliefs or something?
I think for me, things either work or they don't work, or they're either effective or they're ineffective. And I would be down with all of their stuff if it felt effective to me, or if I had any proof or history. Like if defunding the police turned out to be a great idea, then I would go, yeah, well, I was wrong. Good. Or an open border, or whatever it is we're talking about. The problem is it doesn't seem to work. And so I'm not against it because I'm against you or the individual who came up with the idea or who supported the idea. I think the idea is bad. I think the idea of dogs at an airport is bad. I'm not against dogs, and I'm not against dog owners, but when you start getting notes from your doctor that says you have anxiety when you're a 27-year-old perfectly healthy woman, so you got to bring your 2 dogs on my flight, then now I'm against it. And then you can go, oh, so you don't like me? And it's like, no, I think it's a bad policy, and I don't want to travel with dogs. And it begats more dogs. There were no dogs at the airport. Now it's a goddamn kennel because everyone's traveling with their dogs, and I don't like it. But I just think it's bad policy. I'm not really against you or even the person that looked the other way or made the policy.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't care if an idea came from, I'm a film director, so if I have an objective in a scene and the prop master has an idea that makes that objective more acute, I'm all for it.
Yes.
So I am the same way. It is the results. So in politics, I don't care if an idea comes from a Democrat or Republican or an independent, or it makes no difference to me whatsoever. And I just want to look at the results. And, you can look at something like Gavin Newsom, bad result. Right. I don't care what party he's in. That person's decisions have been bad, have resulted in bad things for California. And that's why I wish he had been recalled, and I hope he never gets anywhere near any kind of presidential nomination.
I'm 100% with you. I don't know that there's anyone who hates Gavin Newsom more than me. It could be. I don't know. Maybe Dave Rubin hates Gavin Newsom more than me, but I really hate Gavin Newsom. And I hate him because he's sort of everything that's wrong with California and true. Humans, really. It's like he gets voted for all the wrong reasons because he looks like he knows what he's doing. It's all just Vaseline on the teeth, bullshit, used RV salesman. Nothing ever comes out the other end. He sat where you're sitting 10 years ago and told me the homeless situation was his number one priority. That was 10 years ago. He sat where you sat, and I told him what the problem was with the homeless, and he told me I was wrong. And I told him it was drugs and, mental issues. And he told me it was a mother of 2 who got divorced and was down on her luck and worked a full-time job for minimum wage. And I told him he was wrong. And he just stormed ahead and ruined the city. You've lived here for how long?
Yeah, I've lived here for most of my life. So, I've really seen California and Los Angeles in particular change. And same thing, there's just a lot of policies that are, I think, we knew were ill-advised when they put into effect, and then we see the results and we go, okay. The replacement of Gascon with Nathan Hochman is a perfect example for the Los Angeles DA. Gascon had some ideas he wanted to implement, and he did, and they had a very bad result. And so I'm glad we had an opportunity to vote that out and say, we don't like it, bring someone else in.
Yeah, but again, just bad ideas that won't work. And they mostly rely on some component to humans that don't exist. They rely on humans being sort of decent, semi-righteous, and they will do the right thing 9 out of 10 times, versus weak and opportunistic. So if you go, and also they have a kind of a ass backwards reverse engineering of life that I keep screaming mostly to Dr. Drew about, which is it doesn't work just because they do a sort of reverse engineering on it, and I'll explain. So if you go, we have a problem. What is the problem? Well, there are too many kids of color that aren't testing well enough in math at the high school level. Mm-hmm. How do we fix this problem? I would go, well, we need to spend more time with them on math and maybe bring in some tutors or figure out something. Mm-hmm. They would say, why don't we just lower the score threshold for black and brown kids, and then that'll fix the problem. Mm-hmm. All right, that is not fixing a problem. That is just re-engineering a problem, but not fixing the problem. And if you go, well, the problem is there's too many people of color in prison, and a lot of them are there for shoplifting. Well, I got an idea. Why don't we just raise the amount you can steal up to $850 but before it becomes a felony, while make it a misdemeanor? And you go, okay, that doesn't fix the problem. It just has people steal more shit and stop at $849. And if you go, well, what's the problem? Well, the problem is, it's essentially, it was so funny. I don't know why I have this so clearly in my head, but when I was a kid, I was watching Sherman and Peabody, the cartoon. Mm-hmm. And there was a part where they were in a car race and they were being beaten, and the car wouldn't go any faster. And it was going like 40 miles an hour, and the other car was, and they couldn't catch the other car, and they go, won't go any faster. And so one of the characters broke the glass on the speedometer and turned the needle up to 100 miles an hour, and somehow it worked. But I'm like, that's what they do. They go, well, just, it's like saying you're morbidly obese. Well, get a scale that reads lower.
Yeah, or you have in your mind someone you want to have a relationship with, and the person that you're with doesn't have any of those qualities, so you just throw that list out and decide that you're going to have a different set of desires, and then you're never happy because those aren't your true desires. Or something isn't adhering to the rules, so then you just change the rules.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the same way, especially about school. If I was black, I would feel so insulted that they felt that they needed to lower the requirements for college admissions in order to if I was black, I'd just be like, are you implying, because you are implying, that if your skin is darker, your brain doesn't work right, which is ridiculous. So I think the scenario that you said, if at middle school level, we're not seeing the scores that, the kids aren't learning the math and English composition that we have at other schools, then I think they don't want to do the things that take more time and effort. Like, what if you had a required course at every university where the students that had been admitted have to go to the local middle schools? That's like a service class. Mm-hmm. And you have to get enough hours of tutoring these kids in the basics of what's on that SAT test, algebra and pre-calc, and teach them how to do it. Instead of saying, that's okay, you don't need to know how to do it. We'll just let you into the school anyway. And then while you're at the school, you feel suicidal because you can't do the work. We're going to tell the professors to lower the requirements, and then we'll hand you a diploma.
Well, it's also unintended consequences, because when you take a person, let's say a person of color, and you put them into a higher education situation, Stanford or Yale or Brown or some Ivy League, where the curriculum is real high, but you falsely sort of inflate them to put them in a place that they probably hadn't earned their way in, they flame out and get discouraged because they can't keep. But look, it would have been the same with me. If you would have shoved me at Yale, I would have flamed out in the first quarter because I wasn't up to the task. But if they went to a state school, Cal State Northridge or something like that, that was more commensurate with their ability, then they would stay in and complete the 4 years.
Yeah, and what about people who did qualify and did get good SAT scores and all this, who happen to have darker skin? And then what kind of shadow are you putting on them, as if they didn't earn it and aren't prepared for it?
The worst.
It's just a terrible way to do it. It puts the people that, like you said, haven't done the work yet to get there at a disadvantage. And then it's extremely disrespectful of those who have put in that work. And I just don't feel that it's what body you're dropped into is not of your doing. But your character, the effort you put in, the decisions you make, that's who you are. And that's how you should be judged, not by your gender, your height, your weight, your color. That's just all a ridiculous way of deciding who someone is.
Agreed. By the way, there were no notable composers born on May 27th. So, but Todd Bridges wasn't on there, or was he? Or do I keep putting Todd Bridges on my list?
You want him to be on your list.
I do. I swear, I keep saying he's on there, but every time we pull the list,
let's
he's
look
not.
What is Todd's birthday?
You know what?
Todd Bridges is on there.
Okay.
He's not on my list, though. I mean, on the list that you guys gave me, but he's there.
No, those are all musicians, but yes.
No. I mean, you gave me an initial list, Dawson, with everybody. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I didn't do that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, so. All right, anyway, Todd Bridges, we share a birthday.
He's still there.
But he never reaches out to me. But I don't reach out to him either, so.
Well, Todd,
it's a two-way
if you're
street.
listening.
You were, you were in on that era, you were after that era, right? The Different Strokes.
I started in the business back then. And it's interesting how it's all, changed so dramatically since then. So now what I'm doing is, I don't know, there's so many different ways to make a TV series, if you will. It sure is different than it was then, yeah. I mean, and back then, too, you had, there was only 3 channels. You didn't have a choice, really.
How old were you when you came out here? You're from back east, right?
Yeah, back east. I was 11.
11. And I don't know. People, there's a pejorative to stage mom or showbiz parents or something, but your parents had to have some idea that this is what you wanted to do because you were 11, right?
I just kind of fell into it. But it definitely was my calling for the time, and then things shifted later. Acting ended for me, and it was instead writing and directing and producing, which I was really glad about. So I'm, done a couple of books and a few films, and we're doing a film festival too.
Founder and festival director of the Credo 23.
Credo 23 Film Festival, yeah.
And that is taking place.
It's going to be at the American Legion Hall, Post 43 on Highland.
Oh, there.
It's have you been in there? Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like, I don't know. I've been to events there before. Yeah. It's really old school. I must be from the 20s or something. That building, the cannons and stuff out front.
They redid their theater. It's like 460 seats.
Oh, really?
Stunning. Yeah, because I had been to a lot of events there, but hadn't been. And then I went to a screen. And then I got an invitation for a screening there, and I was like, where do they do a screening? I don't know where they would put a screen up because I'd never stepped into the theater. Mm-hmm. And I walked in. I was like, what? I had no idea it was back there.
And you accept films into the festival.
We're taking submissions still through, you can submit through Film Freeway, or you go to credo23filmfest.com. And until December 20th. And you cannot have used any generative AI. This is a non-AI film festival.
Oh, to have? We need that now, I guess.
Well, here's the thing.
And used in what way? I'm so...
in any way.
For writing or for any visual?
Can't use it for writing, No, you just have to make a film. Like we've been making films for 100 years. You just have to make a film.
How do you test for it? I mean, how would you know?
No, we just, You
take their word.
Yeah, you have to have the, I mean, just don't use it. If you're using it, submit to some other festival. I mean, there's plenty of them.
Is it used quite frequently now?
Yeah.
For writing?
I think so. I think people are using it a lot. And I mean, to me, if you're a filmmaker, if you think you're a filmmaker and you're using it, you're not a filmmaker. Because to use it means you are eliminating parts of the process that get you to that goal. Mm-hmm. I don't know, to me, I so love writing and directing and producing that to remove any parts of those process, like research for writing. If you're doing a period film, like a period script, part of the writing process is that research. As I'm researching, I'm coming up with things that not just behaviors and clothing choices and whatever that were of that period, but it's helping me put the story together. So I don't, that's what people have said, like, why don't you just let, ChatGPT or whatever, some, AI program do things like research. And I'm like, because I would be ripping myself off. I would be removing something I enjoy doing, and I would, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like having them do part of your relationship with somebody you like spending time with. Like, why would I want to give that up?
I don't want to be a naysayer.
But bring it.
Well, I've never used, I'm the least tech savvy person on the planet, and I make notes on like napkins and stuff. I literally have a pen and I make notes on pieces of paper in my car constantly. Yeah. So I'm old school, and I'm not proud of it. I just don't know how to do the other stuff. So I've never used any AI, anything. But if I were arguing, I'd say, well, a lot of people said that about the calculator, like you're not supposed to use a calculator in the 80s to help you do math. And I sort of have feelings about that as well. Like I don't even like, my son did math in his head really well, but not really on paper because it didn't work. He just did it in his head. But I do math in my head very fast and very well, but I wouldn't be able to show my work like on paper. And I think it should be encouraged to do math in your head.
Sure.
But on the other hand, I would say, well, this guy uses a calculator. My accountant uses a calculator, and it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. It's an aid to what he does. Mm-hmm. So is that an example, or could that be an example to AI in the writing process?
Well, I think what's helpful, I think there are a lot of people who don't understand what generative AI is. And if you think of like a blender, if you turn a blender on and you try to pour it out into a glass, you'll get nothing, right? So generative AI, and simplified to just simplify it, is it's an algorithm with weights and probability and all of this, and it's trying to figure out what to do. And the only way it can function is if you feed it. Mm-hmm. If you feed it, if you want to have it spit out a book, you have to feed it in hundreds, thousands, millions of books into the blender. And then you give it a prompt, and it'll churn it all up. And, say you want a book about Hong Kong and panda bears and bicycles or something. Provided you've put that information in there about those items, it will give you a Frankenstein spoonful of that.
And is it, I guess, it'll get better, but I happen to like music from the past, even though I have no composers born on my birthday. So sad. But I like stuff because I can hear the instruments, and I go, and I like it a little bit rough around the edges, like like some of the stuff from the '60s Motown stuff, where you can tell everyone's in the room doing it at the same time. And then I hear Drake, and I don't like it. But it's not because I'm old. It's just because it doesn't feels too synthesized to me. It just doesn't feel like what it was. Yeah. And I guess that's maybe where we're at with AI at this point. Like, some people might like it, but it doesn't have a authentic feel. Or can you pull it off?
I mean, it sounds like you're describing visceral knowledge of another human having made something for you.
Yes.
With the music, right? I feel the same way when I look at art. When I see something, fine art in a museum or a gallery, especially art that looks like you need almost a maniacal sort of level of effort in order, because it's very detailed. There's and you imagine like the time somebody put into putting this piece together so that you could see it, versus a piece of quote AI art in a museum. I think it's an anathema to moving forward, first of all, because you're regurgitating the past. It's not a tool as much as it's regular like basic AI, like Waze and things like that, or a chess program, that is different from what I'm talking about, which is generative AI, where you're actually getting it to do it for you. You're saying, write me a script, or write my email, or write this, or write that. And it's, first of all, it's theft because you had to feed in all these things, and that was done without permission. And then you are capitulating your life, really, in different ways. You're not even participating in, expressing yourself anymore. I mean, there's a lot of ways it's going to kind of crush people's spirit and make them feel worthless because of that.
Are you planning on staying here in Los Angeles and kind of riding it out, or are you going to be amongst the people that flee?
I was so much looking for an off-ramp, so much so. But I tell you what, with Hotchman coming in as the new DA of LA, and I'm seeing some changes, and then with Trump winning, and again, it's not so much about Trump or him as a person or anything like that. It's just that enough people in the United States, in response to the results of all these woke policies and decisions, just said, enough.
Yeah,
enough,
I agree.
And stop. So, because a lot of people are like, I didn't know you were so in love with Trump. And I'm like, you're just, it's like, broaden your vision of what is going on in life. That election was not about that. That election was about the, over 300 million people in the United States. I mean, not all of them are voters, I understand, but it's about this entire country saying, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. This is all ridiculous. The fact that we can't say, and that's ended. The whole mob mentality momentum that was necessary in order to destroy people's careers because they don't agree with you. That was enough people saying, we're not going along with this anymore. And it ended that.
Well, we got Hotchman, which is good, and we got Gascon out, which is good. But I just heard yesterday that the LA City Council, I think, voted unanimously to declare this a sanctuary city.
But wasn't LA already?
I think we were, and we, LA, are going to do battle with Trump because we don't want any of his policies drifting into Los Angeles. So the rest of the world or the rest of the nation will get Trump, but we're going to battle him. But I never know. I assume most everything is just symbolic all the time. And also, being a sanctuary city is, to me, what is wrong with every one of their ideas, which is being a sanctuary city is, in concept or in principle, could be okay. It'd be like saying, we're a MASH unit. We've set up tents. We have equipment. We have nurses. We have surgeons. We have life-saving. We have equipment. We have plasma. Like, we're ready to go if people come in here with horrific injuries. But when LA says we're a sanctuary city, we don't have a tent. We don't have doctors. We don't have equipment. We don't have anything. We just go, we're a MASH unit. And then at some point, bodies start coming in, and we go, whoa, 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 what do you want us to do with these bodies? And then we go, ship them off somewhere. Like, we don't even know what's going on. New York announced, hey, we're a sanctuary city. People start showing up, and they're like, what? What's going on? We don't know what to. Every city that announced they were a sanctuary city, first off, you would be right if you're Texas or Florida or anywhere else to ship migrants to a sanctuary city because they have announced we will welcome these people to our town. So if you lived in Texas, you were like, well, I didn't announce we're a sanctuary city. Let's take these people and ship them to New York, where they announced they were a sanctuary city, or Chicago, or Los Angeles. And then, of course, they have no plan in place.
That's a good point. Nothing in place.
Nothing in place, which is, if they did have something in place, then I would go, okay. I have a clip. By the way, I have two good clips you're going to enjoy. I have the mayor of Chicago, Brandon, can't remember his last name, very progressive, and he's announcing we're doing battle. with any Trump plans of shipping people out. But he, because he's a race hustler, always adds black onto whatever it is he's talking about.
A race hustler.
Well, he is. I mean, you can listen to him.
Let's see what he says.
Brandon
the
Johnson.
President-elect, former President Trump, his threat is not just towards new arrivals and undocumented families. His threats are also against black families. We're going to stand up. We're going to protect undocumented individuals. We're going to protect black folks, brown folks, Asian folks. The city of Chicago will be better, stronger, and safer despite who's in the White House.
All right. Well, I'm not sure what his plan, Trump's plan is for black people.
That's not.
And they call them new arrivals, which is great. AOC called them undocumented Americans. So it's like Americans who lost their paperwork. But new arrivals sounds like he just stepped off a cruise ship. Not you walked here from Guatemala. But he weaves black into everything, which is always funny to me because it's like Trump never talks about black. He talks about people that are here illegally. But
regardless,
he's basically saying he's going to show up, start cleaning up illegal aliens, and if he sees some black people along the way, we'll just round them up as well, which is insane. It's also some kind of weird drug that they can't get off of, like the racism stuff or the Hitlerian stuff. Like, just give it up. Would you just give it up and get back to some policies? And then go ahead and talk about policy, because no one is buying the whole Hitlerian racist thing that you guys essentially ran on.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of like if you want to be accepted by a certain group, you have your hair a particular way, your clothes a particular way, you go to particular grocery stores to shop, you drive a particular kind of car, and you feel like you are part of.
Yes.
And I think for a lot of these people, the way they speak, the theories they claim to hold, and yes, the stores they shop at and the clothes they wear and all of this. And I think there's a real fear of not only not being a part of that anymore, but of that not existing anymore. And I think it's really tied to their own identity and self and feeling of safety and being part of. And I think it's tied into all of that.
I don't even know if they know what they're saying anymore. Well, how would a bunch... Okay. They ran on this... And they've said it for years, like, we're stronger with the immigrants. Like, they do more, they're more honest, they work harder, whatever it is.
But then it's different than just immigrants.
Well, they always fudge.
But they do, I know that.
They said, we're a nation of immigrants. My father came here from Italy. Like, yeah. That's no
different.
one's ever talking about that. We're talking about people here illegally, and some of them are criminals. And so they always talk about, like, we're stronger and they work harder and they do less crime and so on and so forth, which you could sort of look at with a jaundiced eye and kind of go, that sounds counterintuitive that people come here who can't speak the language are net benefit to us. But we had little experiments now. Many showed up in Chicago, in Atlanta, in New York, and as soon as they showed up, the mayor was like, we don't have the money or the facilities to deal with these people. And then they started saying, hey, kids, I know you had a basketball game planned for this weekend, but we need the auditorium to house these people. And then the locals got pissed off. One of them, the guy who killed Lake and Riley, who was the nursing student who was just jogging. It's an insane story. She's just a 23-year-old nursing student was in Atlanta, was just jogging, and an illegal person who was a criminal just jumped her and caved her skull in and killed her. That guy was staying at the Roosevelt in New York and then requested a flight to Atlanta. He's here completely illegally, and we're aware of it, but under the program, caught a flight from New York that we paid for to Atlanta, set up in Atlanta, and just randomly killed this nursing student who was jogging. So I don't think that's a good plan. Like, I feel like everyone needs to be vetted. And the part where this is a nation of immigrants, I agree with. I spoke about my stepfather, Laszlo Gorog, who fled Nazi Hungary, where the Nazi Germany was taking over Hungary in like 39, 40, 41. He saw which way the wind was blowing and he fled. And then he came here, and he came here legally, and he did the documentation and everything, and he came here and he contributed. And that's good. And then I got goulash and everything and chicken paprikash, and I liked it, and it was fine. And that's what we do. We're fine. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about floods of people coming over that we don't know what their past is. We don't know what their criminal history is. And that's what we're talking about, not rounding up people that look different than us and dragging them back to who knows where.
And the unfortunate thing about these announcements, it's, there was a time where if you were homeless and you were camping out on the side of the road and stuff, they would come and take your stuff, and years ago, and that was in place for a long time. And then those rules changed, and what that did was kind of send out the bat signal to all the homeless in neighboring states to come on over because everything's going to be fine. And then it developed into, we'll actually give you a tent, and we'll give you drugs, and we'll give you a porta potty. And then we saw
we'll give you clean needles.
In Los Angeles, we saw the particularly under the freeways, just jammed full of, it was hard to get your car through.
You're talking
it was 4
about
feet tall of just stuff and tents and porta potties. And then also, you mentioned earlier about if you steal under $1,000 in Los Angeles, don't worry, we're not going to arrest you. Well, what happened? People were coming in from it was just basically saying, we're just going to hand you anything. And listen, I think we'd be pretty challenged to spend $1,000, either one of us, in any of our visits to the grocery store or the drugstore.
Yes.
Okay, so that means everything you need can be done for under $1,000 per day, by the way. This isn't like $1,000 in your lifetime. And so what happened is people came in from different countries, other states, to just come in and get their stuff and then leave with it all.
Well, the cartels got involved, and it started getting homeless people to do the stealing and then bring the stuff. And they'd give them a shopping list. Like, we need acid reflux, pills.
And that's what is going to happen here with this.
Well, it's dogs at the airport. When you announce you're a sanctuary city, then people are attracted to your city. They're not going to Waco, Texas, where they've not put out the welcome mat for you. It creates more. It attracts more. That's how it works. Sadly, but that's how it works. And we don't seem to understand that. And yes, there's some alarming statistic that 3/4 of the homeless in Los Angeles are not from Los Angeles. Right. They were attracted because we made a more hospitable environment for them to be homeless.
We offered benefits.
We offered incentives for them to move here. We did with homeless what Atlanta and New Mexico do with production.
Yeah, trying to solicit the business,
we have a better environment to shoot films in Atlanta, and we'll give you tax breaks. And so everyone in Los Angeles picked up and went there. Mm-hmm. And then we did that with homeless. We said, you know what? We're going to make it that much better for you to be homeless if you come to Los Angeles. And so we attracted people to Los Angeles. And we traded out the industry for homeless people.
Maybe that supports another industry, which is the nonprofits that benefit the homeless. I don't know. But it's sure, if you're ever confused about what's going on in your city, just look at where the money's going.
It is $24 billion spent in California and homeless. More homeless is the result. I have another great clip because I love these clips.
Great.
I love the word salad era we're in. The politicians. This is why Kamala Harris, thank God, did not get voted in, because she was like a seat at the table and everyone has to be treated with dignity. And I dream of some world. They have some sort of utopian world in their head, but they have no plan.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they go, there's a hate-free and a gun-free zone. And you go, good, until someone with a gun full of hate shows up. And now we're fucked.
And they didn't get your memo.
Right. How about you get a cop with a gun and have him stand by the door? No, hate-free, gun-free.
You have to defend your position, right?
Yes, that's this daydream of some world where everybody lives with respect. So it's a Texas representative. Her name is Sylvia Garcia. And a reporter's like, look, if you're claiming your district is going to be a sanctuary city, what do you do with aliens who may be criminals in your district? What are we going to do? What's the plan? You say you're not deporting anyone.
Right.
What about criminals who may harm people in your district? Here's her answer.
It's going to cost a lot of money. Estimates say $88 billion to just process and deport 1 million people. Do the math. How is he going to pay for it?
What do you want to happen then to the millions of people that are here? Do you support people who are here illegally that have committed crimes in the past few years? Do you support them being deported?
I support treating all of God's children with dignity and respect.
Even criminals?
Dignity and respect.
All right. Well, problem solved. You just treat the criminals with dignity and respect.
It's like what a third grader would kind of put together, like how to run a city. You know, we're going to put it together and don't worry about putting any sewer system underneath it, or you know what I mean? It's just it's silly.
It's all pablum. Like, we're all God's children. Okay. Hitler, Jeffrey Dahmer, we're all Todd Bridges, we're all God's children.
Okay, but in order to have a society, you have to arrest people like Jeffrey Dahmer. You
well, how
can't
about we
just
treat them with dignity and respect?
How about no? How about you kill enough people and the answer is no?
Well, how about somebody who rapes a woman who's jogging and then caves her skull in?
So
maybe
goodbye.
He doesn't deserve your respect.
Maybe he doesn't deserve his penis anymore. Why don't we just cut that off so that he can't hurt anyone else with it?
I'm
or his
with
hands
you,
too,
but her solution is everyone needs dignity and respect,
well, then you have absolute chaos, and one has to wonder, is that the goal?
I ask this question quite a bit because it seems incomprehensible that is the goal, sort of bedlam, nihilism, chaos. But if all of the paths seem to lead that direction, at a certain point you go, maybe that's the goal, and then you go, but to what end or why? I mean, I'll give you an example. They have a lot of stuff like road diets in California. They go, we're going to take this lane, instead of 2 lanes, we're going to have this lane set aside for bicycles. But nobody's on a bicycle commuting to work, and now we're all bottlenecking in the lane and whatever. And I say to everyone all the time, all this stuff, it's not going to speed things up. It's not going to make traffic more efficient. It's slowing things down. And someone will go, that's the plan. And you go, that's the plan? And they go, yeah, they want you out of your car. They don't want you commuting across town in your car. They want you to own no car.
Is this a segue to Gavin Newsom's $1 a gallon gas price hike?
It could very well be one of those. You keep going, what's going on? And you go, I think they want you out of your car and they want you living in a multi-unit building and sort of walking everywhere. The communities are they have an idea of not going anywhere. And I don't think they want you to own a car. And then you go, oh, come on. And you go, well, he's making gas $6 a gallon. They're putting the roads on road diets. And he said he's going to outlaw internal combustion engines by the year 2030 or whatever it is. And you go, well, maybe that is his plan. Like, he keeps talking about, like, the people that are crazed environmentalists. Mm-hmm. Is their plan help the environment, or is their plan something else that they're not saying?
That one of the indications that helping the environment is not their plan. Where are they right now? When it comes like generative AI, do you know how much water and how much energy it takes to spit out some bedtime story for your kid from ChatGPT? Insane. And yet, where are they?
Well, they're flying private to Davos.
Well, it's a bit of more than a little bit of disingenuousness. So I think what we've seen with what happened November 5th is enough adults saying, all right, this little plan you had, like you've been saying, had a bad result. We're not doing it anymore. It just sort of, I feel like it showed that there are a lot of people in the United States that are saying, the adults are here now, we're not doing this anymore. Stop it.
Well, ultimately, we are pragmatic. Like, not the representative who needed to treat illegal criminals with dignity and respect, but the average American looks at that tape and goes, no, if you have an illegal who's committing crime in your community, you have to detain them, you have to incarcerate them, and you have to ultimately deport them. I mean, that's a basic pragmatic thought.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I think Americans are pragmatic, sort of at their core. They may have notions, sort of pie in the sky notions, but where the rubber meets the road, they want their kids to go to a good school. They want safety. They don't want homelessness. They don't want corruption. They don't want an open border. They want the pragmat. They want lower taxes. They want lower grocery bills. They want lower gas bills. You know, they have a pie in the sky about the environment, but when it costs them $150 to fill up their SUV, they want drill, baby, drill, right? And so what happened is the pragmatists sort of won, but it's only because they got to a saturation level. You know, before that, we were sort of, okay, all right. And then it got to steak is twice as much as it used to be, and gas is $5 a gallon.
But Adam, I will say, I think it was more than, okay, all right. I think it was the result of a lot of emotional terrorism.
Oh, yes.
The threatening to, like, destroy your career, dox you, destroy your children's lives at their school if you disagree with someone, if you dare to express something that's not on this accepted list of woke positions. That, to me, and I said earlier on Twitter, like, this has been the most un-American moment that I have known in my life.
No, I totally agree. Ironically, the thing I always went nuts about is all the people that went nuts about McCarthyism in this town were practicing McCarthyism in real time.
100%. And anyone who, is not familiar, this was the blacklisting of the 1950s where HUAC and Senator McCarthy conducted these hearings, and they demanded that all these writers and filmmakers say whether or not they are communists or whether they've ever been to a communist meeting, and to name names. And some of them just said, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to play this game. This is ridiculous. This is outrageous. And those people were not permitted to work in the entertainment business anymore. So there is a very serious history of that. And it's a major mark on this industry, and that this industry would participate in that, again, is stunning.
Well, thoughts. First off, the folks that are at the tip of the spear that never stop crying about that McCarthyism era and how horrible it was are the first ones to want you canceled for not getting vaccinated or wearing a mask or wearing a MAGA hat or whatever. They're all about it, which is insane to me because it's so hypocritical. But also, and this isn't a popular opinion, but everyone here is talking about Russian collusion and Putin being a death merchant and this. Communism was evil, and it did cause a lot of death and destruction and despair. So on paper, being against communism was actually not a bad idea. Mm-hmm. Now, prosecuting innocent people without the judicial process is not right, but at least communism was bad and is bad. Not getting vaccinated is not bad or good. It's none of your fucking business. Yeah. There's nobody caused anybody any pain or service or disease by not wearing a mask outdoors and or voting for this candidate versus that candidate. So at least the people behind McCarthyism had an actual evil to deal with, even though they went about it the wrong way, versus you people who are doing the same thing they did against something that's not evil. It's just a different choice. So it makes them worse.
Yeah. Like I just heard that Stan Sebastian, the actor, had an invitation to be in the Variety's one-on-one Actors on Actors. And but they couldn't find another actor to come on it with him because it would have been a discussion of his performance of Donald Trump, or in the film where I think maybe it's called The Apprentice, where he's playing Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So they couldn't find anyone who would come on and talk to him about the performance It's not that Stan Sebastian is Donald Trump, but that he portrayed him in a film.
In a negative way, so I hear.
I just, Stan Sebastian's an outstanding actor. You're not going to come on a show with him and discuss a role he played?
There are so many bizarre
so stupid
things that are they're so beyond. Like the guy from Mumford & Sons who was kicked out of the band for saying that Andy Ngo, who wrote the book on Antifa, had courage. Mm-hmm. And the people in the band heard that he just tweeted that the guy took balls to write this book. Mm-hmm. And they threw him out of the band.
And how long had that band been together? Like, that's, of all the lines you can draw, that was it? That was the one.
I remember, I have these little, like, snapshots. I wrote her name down. Shelley Luther was a woman who owned a salon in Texas. So this is a single female small business owner who employs other females to work at her salon, who complied with all the distance and the regulation and the 6-foot separation or something. But at some point, they shut her down altogether, like no business altogether. And she defied them. And she was in prison. She had to go to jail for a week or something like that. Yeah. But the point is she showed up as a guest on The View. And all the women from The View, who are all about empowering women and small businesses owned by women and strong women, yelled at her for opening her salon and defying the man and the orders. And I'm like, first off, View bitches, you're all getting paid. They're on getting paid. And this person's not getting paid and not paying their employees. And they think she's the problem.
This seems like a S&M show or something. I mean, I'm hearing repeatedly of people being on The View and being berated. Like I don't understand the purpose of going on a show that's going to treat you rudely and yell at you. Like, I don't know. I don't really understand it.
Well, I think they have people they agree with, like Kamala, who they ironically, I don't know that there's any one incident you can point to any candidate where it didn't go the way they wanted it to go, but certainly a large part of it is, ironically, they had Kamala on and it was all going to be sunshine and smoke up the ass, but at some point her biggest fan, Sunny Hostin, said to her, what would you do differently than Biden?
That was it.
And she was like, I wouldn't do anything differently. And then Sonny was like, I'm going to help you out and ask you that again. Like, anything? You sure? It's sort of, sometimes people will help you in the position of authority. Like sometimes you check the car. I remember once I was like registering my car at the DMV and the guy was like, it's going to cost a lot unless it was inoperable. Was it inoperable? And I was like, yeah, it'd be better. And he goes, it'd be a lot cheaper. And I go, oh yeah, it was inoperable. Like the guy was helping me.
Yeah.
Sonny was trying to help Kamala. And Kamala just said nothing different. And then everyone took that clip and ran with it because we all decided we didn't want Biden for another 4 years. So why do we want someone who agrees with all his policies? But the way The View works is they have that, and then they have the people on they're going to do battle with,
And do these people know before they come on that this is going to be a battle?
If they didn't, they should fire their publicist because when Judge Janine from Fox and Friends shows up, it's going to be a Donnybrook.
I imagine she knows, but someone who's owns a hair salon may not know.
That's a very good point. This is The View circa 2020 or 21. They weren't as weaponized as they are now. And she probably thought, yeah, I'm an independent female business owner, and I'm probably going to get praised for my stance against the man who's trying to shut my business down. So she may have gone on their show, and also she's a Texas salon owner. She's not as savvy as a sort of New York someone who worked in media,
Yeah,
let's say.
yeah.
So she probably showed up with some sense of fair treatment. And they didn't scream at her or anything, but they were also COVIDed up that they had to, of course, not take her side in her defiance. And then she was incarcerated.
Man.
I know. And people seem to want to kind of turn the page and move forward or go, hey, we need a little more of this. And I'm like, you took a person who kept their business open and you incarcerated them. The government did. You who are worried about government overreach all the time and totalitarian leanings and stuff, what about that?
I think it was the revenge of the hall monitors.
Yeah.
It was really like, I know I'm not going to get invited to the party and I'm not going to have any fun, so I'm going to make sure there are no parties whatsoever.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how people reacted, and it scared me. And it was a tell. I mean,
yeah.
Gavin Newsom to me was a tell, like, oh, you like this stuff, don't you?
Oh, wait. Has he ever, and I'll answer it no, has he ever had a time in his life where people were tuning in to hear what he had to say? Remember he was doing these fireside, there are a few people doing these sort of fireside nightly, like they wanted to be Adam Carolla. They wanted to have their own show. You know what I mean?
Gavin Newsom wanted to be Adam Carolla.
But you know what I mean? They wanted to do this daily show where everybody tunes in and watches them talk about whatever. And that's what they had.
They loved it.
And then it went, and so it's easy to see then his motivation for keeping it going. California was shut down, and Los Angeles in particular, longer than I think any other place on the planet.
Yeah. So.
Because, as soon as he lets go of that, he has to go back to dealing with the trash department or maybe there's a problem over in one of the school districts or, he has to go do all those jobs.
Right, mundane.
Instead of being watched on his little show every day.
Here's an interesting delineation, perhaps, and maybe it's just going to sound flattering to me, but I figure there are kinds of people who want to get into politics. I would like to think if I got into politics is because I want to fix some stuff and there's waste and things that frustrate me. And I would like to enact something. Others like the idea of being in charge. Yeah. And Gavin Newsom doesn't strike me as a guy who wants to fix stuff, but he does enjoy being in charge because when COVID came out, that showed who he was. And all the mayors and all the governors who loved being in charge really came out. And it's kind of tantamount to, I would like, and you can tell me how you vibe on this. I like being in charge of myself and being independent and creatively sort of doing what I want. But I don't like being the boss. I don't like telling people what to do. Like when somebody goes, this guy's been late 3 days in a row, you got to talk to him. I go,
that's a good voice.
I don't want to. It's uncomfortable. Uh-huh. Now, other people like being the boss. You know what I mean? Like, I worked with Jimmy. Jimmy likes being the boss in a good way, but he likes it. Mm-hmm. He likes being the boss. I didn't like being the boss, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I wanted autonomy, and that makes you de facto the boss.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not working for somebody else. So you want all this stuff, but you're the boss. And I like politicians who want to do things and want to fix things and want to make things work, but I don't want ones that want to be the boss. And Gavin Newsom looked like someone who wanted to be the boss during COVID.
Yeah, and a lot of politicians I feel like behave in the same way that some celebrities do, who feel like they're losing their grip on their own fame, so they'll do something that they know will get attention to keep their name involved in the conversation. And I feel like we have some politicians on this side of the nation that engage in that a lot. And it's like, why are you doing that? That sounds so nonsensical. Oh, I see. It's because, look how often we've mentioned his name in this particular episode.
It's true. I'll do it in my sleep sometimes. I'm having a nightmare wake up covered with sweat, panting hard like a Vietnam vet who heard a helicopter. Yeah, and so to be fair, I think a guy like Trump wants to be the boss and wants to fix things. Like, I think there's such a thing as both.
Well, I mean, if we just look at the results, I'm very, very interested in seeing what many of the people in his cabinet are going to do. I'm very interested to see what RFK is going to do.
I am
very
too.
interested, or RFK Jr., I'm very interested to see what Tulsi Gabbard's going to do. I'm very interested to see what Vance is going to do. I mean, I think this is a really interesting group of people.
Vivek, I've interviewed most all of these people.
And Musk. I mean,
Musk, I know.
I just feel like I'm so grateful that one of the most successful businessmen in the history of the world, really, you could argue, is
Elon.
willing to help get rid of inefficiencies. And I'm like, how is that bad?
I don't know why we're arguing with it. And I will tell anyone over at CNN, when you guys start doing, this guy has no experience in government, I get a boner.
But
you think that's a strike?
Experience?
I don't know. Experience in government's the problem. I'd rather have Elon Musk. I'd rather have somebody outside, somebody who built an empire outside of government.
Yeah.
You know who has experience in government? Joe Biden. He has 50 years experience, 53 years experience in government. That's all he knows. He's never been in the private sector. That's why he's a shit show. It's only government.
And if you're looking to get rid of inefficiencies, why not? You know, people say, "Oh, he's just a billionaire, or a trillionaire, whatever he is right now," and I'm like, that's an indication that there are efficiencies at his companies that are very expensive to run. The fact that he actually has a lot of money, don't you think? Just do the math. And I think I'm excited to see what they're going to do. So I can't wait.
I can't wait either. And
in other areas, too, like I said, it's not just what's happening in government. A lot of things are going to be changing in a lot of different parts of our society. And I've been waiting a long time for this, and I'm really excited.
Well, a good note to go out on, Justine. The Credo 23 Film Festival, accepting submissions up until the 20th of December. AI, not apply. Someone had to make a jingle out of it. And that'll be coming up, and it'll be at the really interesting Legion. Is it American Legion?
American Legion Hall, Post 43 on Highland in L.A. in March. And passes are for sale right now, too, if you want to get some early.
Yeah, right down the street from the Hollywood Bowl, right?
That's right.
That's right. Justine, always good to see you.
Great to see
come
you.
back anytime. And we'll come back for an update closer to the film festival or something
great
like
idea.
that. Me and Oxnard at Levity Live doing stand-up. That'll be November 29th. And then Houston, and then Phoenix. You can go to amcarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, it's time for Justine Bateman, Felipe Esparza, and Jessimae Peluso saying mahalo.